Well, Coach, your team just did so much last year, made it to the second round of the playoffs. What kind of expectations do you have coming into this season?
I think there's high expectations here in the county around this place on our team and coaching staff, and that's a good thing. You know, we want to have high expectations. If your goal is shooting for a state championship, then you better have high expectations. We've had a really good, productive summer from our workouts to the camps that we've been to 7-on-7 tournaments, and we're excited about it because we matched up with a lot of good teams in the country at the Hoover 7-on-7 National Tournament and skill-wise. So we understand that 7-on-7s are really the fluff. It's not real football, but when your skill kids can match up against their skill kids and in man coverage, you feel pretty good coming out of there.
Coach, obviously, last year was such an impressive year for you. I mean, I think you surprised a lot of people. Maybe not everybody, because some of us knew what you had coming back. But how do you feel like you can build on that moving forward?
Yeah, we talk about not being average, not being complacent. That complacency is a success or a disease of success, and so we just try to stay humble with it and work our guys hard and let them understand the past is the past. And if this is a new group, even though some of them were part of that team last year, this is a new year, and we won't surprise anybody this year. I think we kind of surprised a few teams last year in that region. They didn't know much about our spread option attack, and so we got a lot of the pieces back to that, but we won't surprise anybody. So,
Coach, I know you lost some off last year's team, but you also got some great players coming back, including your running back. He broke the single-season rushing record last year.
Yeah, Jeremy Haley, I mean, this kid's probably a 4.9 40. And probably when you see him walking down the hall, you wouldn't think this is a 1,600-yard running back. But he does everything right. Very coachable, great attitude, great vision, and he's back. And he's a leader. He's a captain. So we've kind of built that offense a little bit around him as well. And defensively, one of the names that comes up is Jacob Allen. Jacob's going to be a junior, and he's probably put on about 25 pounds this offseason, and he's around 6'1", 220, and moves good, and so we've kind of built that defense around him. So we're excited about those key guys. Another guy offensively is Casey Osborne, that's back as a receiver and has really improved since last year in his strength and in his practice and in his play this summer in 7-on-7.
Coach, obviously, you've again some talented players back, but I think the ones that everybody's been talking about are the two newcomers, or the three newcomers really, between your quarterback Candler Coker and the Curry brothers. Talk about how they've adapted to what y'all do at Flowery Branch and just what you expect from them this year. Absolutely,
Candler Coker is as good as they come. I mean, he's great attitude, team leader, very committed, works hard. But he brings a lot on the field. He's a dual threat. He's a true dual threat quarterback at 6'4", 205. And so we're excited about that if he's ever got to pull it down and run, he's dangerous. He reminds me a lot of Connor being in his play. And I believe Candler probably throws as good a deep ball as any quarterback that we've had here. So I think that says a lot about his play. The Curry boys, CJ, he's a real deal. I mean, he's a national recruit, of course, at receiver. He's got the size and the speed, got great hands. He's really had a really good summer with us in 7-on-7 and doing the things he needs to. Darius Curry, the younger brother, not the youngest, but the middle brother, great lockdown corner. He's a junior and 6'1", about 190, and he's a kid that's going to go both ways for us. We don't have many that's a two platoon kind of guy, but he's one of those that can bring the whole package in.
Your region 8-4A, so tough last year. I mean, do you think it's going to be as tough this year? And what makes it so tough?
This region has a huge defensive line, and their skilled kids are great athletes, very fast. And we knew that going in. So we knew a little bit about this region. We did our homework on them. Nothing's changed. Clark Central's going to be Clark Central. Appalachia returns a lot of guys, and they've got some speed. They're all talented. It's a tough region.
Coach, I know every year it's y'all do a really special kind of preseason camp where you take your kids up to Mount Currahee outside of Toccoa and do a kind of a special thing. Talk about how unique that is and just what goes into that weekend.
Camp in general is just special because I've always believed that a poor team to get average, average to good, or a good team to great, you got to suffer together. At some point, they've got to suffer together, not by themselves, not the coaches. They just have to suffer together, and they have to depend on each other. And camp is a great way to do that, and that's where that brotherhood we talk about is formed. And then the last morning we run Currahee Mountain, 3 miles up, 3 miles down, and they take off in their leadership groups, and a senior usually leads them, and they have to finish together. So you may have the big lineman with a skill kid, and they have to get up that mountain together. And usually we get up there as the sun's coming up. We'll do a devotional hour, usually have a military guide come up there and give them a motivational talk. But to watch those last groups finish and everybody's kind of cheering them on to get to the finish line on top of the mountain, it's very much a unique experience. So it's very much a unique experience, and our kids, they know it's hard. It's 5:30 in the morning, and but that's what they talk about, and that's why our battle cry is Currahee. Sure. And so all of that being said, it's what I tell our kids, that if you're just playing football for Friday night, you've missed it. It's bigger than that. It's everything that's outside of the 48 minutes.
You guys had a lot of success last year, obviously. What is it that really makes you excited about this year's team?
When they need to dial it up, they can really dial it up. Tremendous athletes in some spots. It's always a challenge to put the pieces of the puzzle together. I always look forward to that. But when that glue starts taking hold and you can start seeing it happen and that team chemistry hits, I think the potential of this team is what's so exciting. Now, on the other end of that, we've never been through adverse situations together. Camp will tell a lot. The first ball game will tell a lot. Any adversity in a game, to see how they respond after a halftime of maybe being down. So there's some unknowns, but the knowns are pretty good.